Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. If you guys missed me yesterday, I was off for one day. Simply because, man, I don't know what the hell hit me, but I just needed to shut the hell down. I think I slept for like 20 hours. Literally, I literally from the second I woke up, I went for half a mile walk. I felt like crap. I came back and I literally passed out. I never got out of bed until late at night before I showered and went right back to bed. But today I feel good. I think I just needed that, man. Enough about me. Let's get into today's discussion. What are we talking about? Men suffering in silence and why that is changing. I'm going to play you a series of videos, basically just sort of highlighting where men suffer, because it's only now that some women are starting to wake up and realize that, men suffer much more than they do. And it's getting worse. But some men are just saying no more. They're not prepared to suffer. And I'm going to show you an example of that. Funny example. You got to stay to this for the end because this thing cracked me up big time. So, my friends, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up before you forget. And of course, join our membership system. It is now live. In one day, we just passed over 100 people. And today is day 2. So, I'm looking forward to a lot more people interacting on the site. It is free. It is free right now, so get on board. And listen, whenever it does go to a paid subscription, it's going to be so reasonable. All of you are going to be able to afford it. The idea is not to make it expensive because I want all types of individuals to interact. I want to be able to help more and more people. But the idea is to get like-minded people who actually are now thinking along the lines of what I am showing you guys to get together. All right, so we got ladies and we got men in there interacting. I love it. Thank you guys for the support. All right. So let's get into this first video. This woman just realized that men are suffering. I don't know why it took so long for her to realize it.
Okay, so I work in a kitchen filled with men, right?
Sure.
And I'm the only female chef in there.
Yeah.
So I get to observe how men communicate.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. Now we unpacking.
It's interesting. And what I noticed about your build is that you have the capacity to work and suffer at the same time.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Women don't.
Okay, so when you say work and suffer, elaborate. What does that mean?
You could be physically or emotionally or mentally defeated,
Drained,
but you're still
tired,
going to go to work. And you can still, you have the physical capacity to execute whatever it is that you need to do.
That's in relationships too. Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
That's in relationships. Yeah, it's not just work.
Okay.
It's not just occupation.
I agree.
Okay.
Men suffer in silence often.
Yeah.
Because our existence is based on what we can provide to you all.
You see, that part shocked her and she's in denial, either because she's never had a proper relationship or she don't really care to see men suffer. And my last point is usually the one that's more true. Most women don't realize men are suffering in silence because it is silent. We don't express a lot of anger and frustration outward. We just go silent. When a man shut down is when you should be concerned about your relationship, ladies. Remember that. Let's hear what a few people had to say on this one before we move on. Men suffer in silence. You agree? Let me know your thoughts. So that was a survey. 98% of people said, yes, this is true versus false. Okay? Kosal Ray said, I had this conversation with a lady. I told her that I refuse to build a relationship based on a romantic love. Love is an action, and I want a relationship based on duty and responsibility. I don't need her emotions stopping her duty to me while I'm still performing my duties to her. Yes, that is so true. As long as she respects you, my friend. You don't need her to love you. You just need her to respect you, stay in her space, understand that she don't do anything that will disrespect you and disrespect the family. You should be fine. Kadri said, willing to put emotions to the side to get things done. Men ain't looking for sympathy. Focus on getting the task done. That is it. Ladies, you don't understand that. Men are doers. That's all we do. We focus on what has to be done. We might not get it done there and then, but it's always on our mind. We got to get that shit done.
50 years, 7-Eleven.
See, yeah.
Wow, 50 years. Anything to say?
No.
Well, congratulations, man. Thank you.
He works for 50 years in a company and all he gets is an email with a photo of the company owner. Wow. If this can't make you believe that job loyalty is dead, I'm not sure what will. Please learn to prioritize yourself over everything else when it comes to your career growth.
We got to provide. Theophil's skill says, damn, I feel sorry for you brothers who's going through this. Obviously, this is a single guy who's basically saying, yeah, I ain't doing that shit. And that's what we're going to get into later on, okay? The equalizer said, if the ROI, return on investment on my output, isn't high, the environment or individual isn't worth my time. And that's going to bring us to this next video.
Why did he break up with you? Are you asking me? All right, let me explain some boy math to you. CPN, or cost per nut, measures the financial investment made in dating. Now, the key trend is ensuring that this cost decreases over time as the value of your interactions improve. If your CPN reaches a level where the expenses outweigh the benefits, you'll be removed from consideration as the investment no longer makes sense, giving them diminishing returns. It's a cost-benefit analysis. Now, I'd hit it too, but I'm already paying for lunch, and I know I'm not going to see any returns, so we're already starting off in the reds. How's your chorizo?
There you go. Ladies, you got to understand, men are constantly analyzing, is you and your time worth the money that he's going to have to spend on you? Because at the end of the day, my friend, it all comes down to how much money he's going to invest in you. And he wants a return on that investment. So if you're not giving it back to him in punani, femininity, enjoyment, just the feeling of being around a feminine person, you're not worth the time or the money. You're not worth his meat, money, energy, attention, or time. And this is where the problem lies. Most modern women do not have any femininity to give. Okay? They're not that entertaining or funny. So literally all they have is punani. And that's all they're usually that's all they're offering right off the bat. So that means that if a man makes an initial investment and then over time, if it does not get any easier for him, you don't show him that, you're wifey material, then at some point, the cost of what he's paying, his money, energy, attention, and time, isn't worth your existence with him. Please understand that. This is a very important thing for you to understand.
Mostly women. That's not what I said. All the time. Mostly women are leaving marriages and not men. Mostly women. At the college level, it's almost all women. Then men are the exception because women are initiating 90% of the time. And then if we break those stats down along religiosity, we might come up with some different numbers. But yes, it's mostly women breaking up the home. And yes,
no, that's not men's fault.
Well, because we can ask these women why the divorce happened. And we can look at court documents for the reasons that they put for the divorce. And we can run different polls where we're talking to them. And what we find is the same thing that was pulled up the other night here on whatever. He was a perfect guy. I just got sick of him. I don't like him anymore. There was no abuse. He didn't do anything wrong. I just don't fucking like him.
Is she not entitled to make that choice if she doesn't like her husband anymore?
I think that if you put your own self-entitlement above that of your children, in order to have access to their father in a two-parent household, you're setting them up for failure. And that's what we see in the stats.
And this is the problem that we're having in our society. Women have the illusion of choice. They are incentivized to leave you. So they don't have a problem whenever they're feeling a little disappointment in the relationship. Feeling a little like they're not happy today. Oh, for the last week, I haven't been happy. Oh, for the last 6 months, I haven't been happy. And these women really forget how hard it was to actually find a good man. They forgot that they went through a wedding. They forgot that there's families that were brought together and relationships and bonds that were done. They forget that, we have a child together. They forget all of these things and they're only thinking about themselves. I am not happy. When happiness is such a fleeting thing, I've done videos on this before. Part of life is that you have to be unhappy in order to feel happy. And how do you know that you're happy if you didn't experience unhappiness? So most women are so fragile in today's environment, they cannot bear to go through any period of discomfort. I'm not going to say happiness, just discomfort. I've been married 20 years. You know how much discomfort I've gone through in my in my relationship. And it's not me. I'm sure she's gone through discomfort as well. But the longer we endure it, the longer we realize, okay, you know what? Here's how we work it out. Let's work it out like this. Let's look at it like this. Once we communicate, using this and compromising, then you realize, okay, you know what? This is okay. I can do this. And then all of a sudden we're happy again. And then the period of unhappiness dissipates. But you know when it becomes vital and incredibly important to have a partner? When shit hit the fan. When you've lost that job. When something goes terribly wrong in your health. When something goes terribly wrong in the house. When one of the kids are in deep shit. When life hits you in the nuts. That's when you realize, oh man, she's there. Oh man, my support system is there. Whether it's you, whether it's the man or the woman. That's when you'll wake up and realize, shit, this is important. Most women don't discover that until they're in deep, deep doo-doo. Then they're calling on daddy government.
What's been the most memorable time period of your life?
Being married to my wife for 51 years. I'll never forget her. We were a perfect couple and enjoyed each day together. And when I lost her, I lost my life. So I'm just existing now till I go and join her. And I'm 93 years old, so I don't have much time left, I'm sure. But if you're lucky, you'll find a woman like I did who will never argue, never fight, never do anything against you, and she'll love you and you'll love her the rest of your life too. It's all you can ask for is a good partner.
Was a lucky man. They don't make women like that anymore, my friend. They're rare. They're rare. I think my generation was probably the last time you'll see females like this. Let's hear what a few people had to say. The Federate said, some gal with 4 baby daddies and OnlyFans will see this and think that she deserves the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Somebody responded to him. Femininity coach Irina said, yes, 100%. Banks to Rob said, he got his chick 75 years ago. They don't have that type of woman in the U.S. anymore. Fact. Patriarchaja Moore, probably butchered that. My mom was a great partner that stood up for herself, was not passive at all, very straightforward. My dad loved her like this. When she passed away, he never remarried. He would tell us he could never love anyone else. So argue, talk back, and stand up for yourself. When they got married, my mom was 18, my dad was 20. My mom passed away at 69, my dad at 85. Listen, I don't understand why you all think that a woman needs to just sit there and take it. Women were never, ever like that, where they were just passive. Yes, honey. Yes, we. No. Women always had a spine. It just, when it came down to the vital things, where a woman would just argue, she would argue back and she would push the man so that it allows him to think deeper. But in the end, she would say, okay, well, I see what you're talking about now. Or, you know what? I don't agree with you, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Let's do it. If it messes up, it messes up. I mean, you ladies have to realize one thing. A man is much more logical in his thought process. That's why it's important for women to actually listen to what men have to say, okay? Because most women just don't understand that she is emotional. It's like, okay, how do you know that you were being logical when you don't have a logic-based software installed? Everything is how you feel. So would you not default to the software that has a logic-based software installed? Can the logic-based software get it wrong? Yes, it can. Can you get it wrong based on your emotions? Yes, you can. What are the probabilities of you getting it wrong versus the man getting it wrong? One based on logic or one based on emotion? See what I'm saying? More than likely, logic will trump emotion when it comes to decision making. That's why you should default to the logic base, where a man has broken it down and analyzed it, not because of his feels. That's why it's important to find a man to consult with whenever you're going to make big decisions in life. Now, can he get it wrong? Yes. Possibilities and probabilities of him getting it wrong, much slimmer than yours. But in life, sometimes it doesn't matter which road you take, there's going to be trouble. There are going to be predators on that road. There's going to be potholes. There are going to be floods. There are going to be sickness. It doesn't matter which freaking road you take. But he has analyzed the probabilities of getting a better road on this side versus yours. That's all. That's the only difference. So now we're going to go to a radio show that shows you where today's modern young men are. It's going to be a little longer, but you're going to find this thing so funny. Listen to this. I'm going to try not to talk through it because the flow is important, okay? So this young man went on a date, and this is a second date, and he didn't call the woman back. So she calls into this radio show that calls people to find out why they didn't call him back.
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Thomas, please?
This is him. Who's this?
Thomas, what's up, man? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning.
Who's that?
Brook and Jubal in the Morning. It's a radio show.
Okay.
You ever listen to us before?
Nah, I don't do mornings really.
I don't blame you. I am so jealous of that.
Man.
You are a good person.
Yeah, seriously, you got to figure it out. I'm so tired of waking up this early. Well,
Did I win something? What's going on?
No, you didn't. We do a segment on our show. It's called the Second Date Update. That's where if you go out on a date with somebody and then end up not calling them back after, they can email us to see if we can get you on the phone and find out what happened. So somebody emailed us about you.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot to get a hold of somebody, but it's usually because they really liked the person.
Any idea who would have emailed us?
I don't know, dude.
Are you awake right now, Thomas?
I mean, I don't want to be, but I am now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
I feel you, man. I'm right there with you.
Is this going to take, how long is this going to take?
It shouldn't take more than a few minutes, in case you're busy or whatever. But
I just want to go back to sleep. Okay.
Well, do you remember going out with a girl named Kelsey?
Probably?
Oh my God.
Do you remember her or no?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
What's up?
Well, Kelsey emailed us because she told us about your date. And she said that you guys went for a walk, stopped by the grocery store, and she invited you to the movies. And that's when you...
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot?
It was a lot?
What was a lot about it? The walk or the grocery store?
All of it. It was... anyway, so what do you need?
Oh my God, Thomas,
Well,
you just
Kelsey, Kelsey wants to know why you're not calling her back.
Oh, gosh.
Thomas!
Can you tell us why?
I guess. It was just she wanted to do so much stuff.
Really? What do you mean? She thought she was too boring for you. She thought that a walk in a grocery store was lame and that you were looking for more excitement. And that's why.
Who walks? That's why they...
Wow. That is how lazy today's men are. Thankfully, this is not all young men, but holy Christ, I didn't know it was getting this bad, man. Whew. All right, okay, let's keep going.
That's why they invented cars and Uber. Why do we have to walk? It was so much.
Okay, so it's not that you were bored on the date, you just didn't want to walk. Pretty much.
No, it was. I didn't want to do. And then after the walking, it goes to the random restaurant, and then the grocery store, and then I have to carry her groceries, and then I have to help her put the groceries up, and then after all of that, on top of that, she was like, "Oh yeah, let's go see a movie." I'm like, "Oh my God, I just did more work than I've done all week." I don't want to do any more things. And it was so late, dude. It was 8 o'clock or something. It was so late. I don't like it.
Wait, Thomas, I mean, you're concentrating a lot on the things that you did on the date, but what about her? Did you enjoy hanging out with her? She said she was laughing a ton.
Smiling a lot. I mean, she was cool. It was just, she does too much, man. I'm not an outdoorsy dude who likes to do all this. I feel like she would go hiking, and that sounds terrible.
Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, you just feel like she likes to do way too much.
I mean, I'm sure she'll find someone who likes to do stuff with her, and that's awesome. But I just don't. If I didn't have to leave the house, I would not leave the house.
Why are you even dating then, Thomas? Dating requires you to do stuff.
It doesn't though. Like you could dating. You drive to a place, you eat dinner at a place, and then that's it. And then maybe you go back and you watch like Netflix or Hulu or something. Like it's not. I don't know. She wanted.
Gentlemen, young men, this isn't dating what he just described. You gotta put some effort into it, man. Whoo. You know, I keep getting reports that, young men are just not even trying on dates. I get what they're saying. I'm hoping that this isn't normal because this is laziness. Wow.
To do so many things, and I'm not that kind of dude.
Not that kind of dude. All right. Well, at least you know what you want, Thomas.
Oh, you should have told her that though, Thomas. She did not.
Yeah, but then I'd have to like meet up again. We'd probably have to go on another walk to explain why I don't like going on walks.
Yeah. A lot of effort. Well,
wow.
Thomas, I know that this is probably going to be hard for you to deal with, but Kelsey is on the other line and wants to talk to you for a minute.
Oh my God, you guys are the worst.
Kelsey, are you still there?
Yeah, hey.
Hey, what's up?
I can't believe this is like complete opposite what I thought was going on. I thought you didn't like me because I was boring, but you don't want to do anything? Like the whole point of going out with someone is to get to know them while doing an activity.
Yeah, but you wanted to do so many activities. Like if we just did 2 activities, that's it for the day.
For the day.
You get a morning activity, you get a night activity, and that's it. But you wanted...
What are your activities? Just Netflix?
I mean, that and a good bowl of soup.
Oh, God. Thomas, all it was one walk to the place that we were going to. That was it. Just one. It was not that extreme.
Yeah, but why would you want to walk? Are we cavemen? All you have to do is call an Uber. We could have saved so much time. And then my leg was tired. I was out of breath. My body's not used to this type of activity.
What? Your body isn't used to going on a short walk to a restaurant?
Not anymore. We're past that.
Thomas, just even a little bit of exercise would make you feel better. It'd give you more energy. It may.
I don't think it did any of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the thing is, I'm happy with my life. I'm doing fine. I don't know why you're trying to change me into some LA fitness jogging jock dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey man, if you're happy doing you, then just keep doing that. But I think, it doesn't sound like Kelsey's that demanding, really.
Yeah. And it sounds like you guys had a nice connection and that you could be missing out on something possibly pretty special.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just want someone more my speed. I feel like she's too extra. She's always this, bam, bam, bam. I just want one bam.
I do normal things that normal people do that walk places and who literally use their body. It's not that difficult.
I use my body to press the Uber button. That's enough.
Oh my God. Thomas, you sound like a human sloth is what you sound like.
I'm okay with that.
I'm speechless. It's the second time I've listened to it. And I'm speechless. If these are the men that we are now creating, society as we know it is freaking doomed, my friends. Wow. Gentlemen, you got to do better. There is no way that that's excusable. Nothing with what this young man did. Obviously, there's something about him that's attractive enough that he can still pull women, right? But to be that damn lazy, when I tell you men have given up, this is the sign of men giving up. Wow. I would love to have known how old he was, but he sounds like a young man, man. It's nuts listening to that.
Feminism has definitely ruined all of that where it comes to men being men. Men step up. I don't know if you guys saw that article that there was some girl that was drowning and the guy saved her life and then he was she was going to sue him for touching her. Oh, he touched me without my consent. Bitch, you were under the water, you were dying. He literally saved your life. And she's like, well, for a brief moment, I was grateful that I was alive. This is why men don't step up, because when they do the right thing, they get crucified. If you want better men, be better women, because it starts with you. How you act, how you carry yourself, how you talk to them. Treat a man like a king, he'll treat you like a queen. Feminism has definitely ruined all.
Listen, I don't want to blame this all on women, but understand one thing about male and female dynamics. All societies are run based on a woman. Think about it. From the second that a child is born, he's given to the mother to be nurtured. So his developing years are all done by women. So if the women are grooming these men from the time they're able to understand life and they're horrible women, you're going to get horrible men. That's the reality of life, my friends. So you all might accuse me of being anti-feminist and anti-woman. I'm trying to explain to you the realities of life. And the reality of life is simply this. Women are responsible for nurturing societies. Nurturing. Men are responsible for building that society. That's the difference. But then the feminists push back so hard, this is what we get. This kind of attitude here.
Going back to the family court thing, because we want to talk about traditional relationships, and that's how it should be. The mom should stay home with the kids, and the dad is the provider and all that. But then when it comes to the family court, we want to be like, oh, dads need 50% custody, but you don't even know your kid. You've been off providing all this time, and the only reason now you want 50% custody is because that's the only thing that still connects you to the woman, or whatever up reason you have. But it has nothing to do with the children at heart. It has to do with, I'm their father, I deserve 50% custody. But where were you the first 10, 15 years that we were raising the kids?
Okay. Ask women if they really want to trade places. Ask them if they prefer to have a stay-at-home dad while they become the primary breadwinners. Looking at modern families, it's clear traditional gender roles have shifted, but not the way many might expect. Let's take it a step further. Janice, read.
Among children in weekly non-parental care, 62% were in daycare centers, preschool, or pre-kindergarten, center-based care, 38% were cared for by relatives, and 20% were cared for in a private home by someone not related to them.
This shows that modern children spend more time in daycare because both parents are working, contradicting the idea that women are staying home to raise their children. So I don't get a rhetoric about men not being there for the first 10 to 15 years of their children's lives, especially when feminist rhetoric has ignored this for decades. Check this out.
A men's rights activist would say to me, men are far more likely to lose their child in a custody battle. And I would counter, well, because women are unfairly expected to be the caretaker, it's discrimination against women that women get custody more often. Yeah. I'm not proud of that.
I'm not denying that they need their mothers or their fathers more. Men and women complement each other. That is what I'm saying.
Exactly. The battle between the sexes has gone way too far, and it's a problem. We need to correct it, my friends. Men do suffer in silence a lot more than women do. Women just give up and leave. But now the new generation of young people are now just saying, yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm not even prepared to go on a walk to foster a relationship with a woman. They've gotten lazy. So we're seeing a massive collapse. I'm a male advocate. I advocate for men. All right? I see problems with men. You're not going to see me doing any political runs or anything like that. But I have to speak up for men because I am living in a society now that literally almost discriminates against men. I watched in the news this morning as Israel is bombing Lebanon, and Britain has sent planes over to actually get their citizens out. And there's a British woman married to a Lebanese man, right? 2 kids. And because he don't have his full papers right now, he can't leave, even though he's married to her. I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if the roles were reversed. Would they not get her out? Just my thought process. But anyway, guys, listen, subscribe, join our membership system. I'll put the new school link to join our membership system here, and it's also in the description for you guys to join up. So until next time, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. See you in the next one. Cheers.